All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Islam family, this is Mario L. Bey. I got a special person on the line today. It's Brother Abdullah Bey. And I can say that he's one of my personal teachers, a very beautiful brother. We're not going to waste a lot of time, so we're going to go straight into it. Brother, introduce yourself.
Yes, my name's Abdullah Bey. I just put out a new book called Moors and Masonry. I've been working on this book for quite some time, actually a period of 20 years. And this is something that this is one of my better works here. Done extensive research on the topic of the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and the European powers between the 15, 16, 1700s. It's been, we are those who are classified as Black, Negro, Colored, and African American in the United States Census Bureau has been indoctrinated into believing that we were transported on slave ships by the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Spaniards, the English, and the French from between the 15 and 1800s. So our people are those who are classified as Moors, who are classified as Black, Negro, Colored, and African American, don't know that they are natives to America. Don't know that they are aboriginal to America. They think that they are African Americans, meaning that they are descendants of Africans in Africa, all right, and then born in America. And they think, well, that's what African Americans, we were forced over here, by the Europeans, in households of ships and bound and chained, and then we now live in America, so therefore we're African Americans.
Yes.
That's their concept. That's their concept.
So, brother.
So, yeah, we're not Native American. We're not Native. Oh no, we're not Indians. We are African Americans. You hear that?
Yes, sir. So I got a question for you, bro. So you're implying that we were not transferred from the continent of Africa to the modern continent America.
I'm not implying it. I am stating it that we were not transferred. We are Aboriginal, Native, and indigenous to this land, North America, Central America, South America, and the Jordan Islands. There's a book called Unexpected Faces in Ancient America by Alexander von Humboldt. In his book, he has over 100 photos, stoneheads, masks, figurines, statuettes with broad noses and thick lips, showing our ancient presence on the land. Another book, They Came Before Columbus, by Ivan Van Sertima.
Yeah.
In fact, Alexander von Humboldt came to Ivan Van Sertima's defense when the British Museum questioned Ivan Van Sertima's research, questioned the validity of Ivan Van Sertima's research. And Alexander von Humboldt supported Ivan Van Sertima. Ivan Van Sertima also went to Congress in the early 90s, or I think in late 80s, stating to Congress, they ran a report to Congress that Christopher Columbus Day should no longer be celebrated, as Christopher Columbus did not clearly discover America. Yes. So he's actually considered our ancient presence on this land. But most people are not aware of this.
Yes.
When weeks leading up to Thanksgiving, and all the schools in the Moorish land, where they falsely call the United States, and preschools, and in the preschools and elementary schools, they have documentaries, and they show documentaries for the children, color pictures, of they call the Indian and pilgrim scene. And they have what they call the Indians with narrow noses and thin lips. Yes. And these children have, they draw these pictures, they color these pictures in, the teachers read books to them, and they see these images. So they Thanksgiving shows come on, cartoon Thanksgiving shows they see. And so we've been indoctrinated from young age of thin lips, down nose, thin lips, straight hair, thin lips, down nose, straight hair, thin lips, down nose. Yeah. So when I was in the teachers' lounge one day. This is about 6 years ago. 5-6 years ago. So teachers were there, substitute teachers, administrators, maintenance workers, matron workers, and security guards. And this was at high school in Camden. And I said to them, talking about my book, Moors and Masonry, that I said to them that I'm native to the land. And they laughed, they snickered, mocked. And I simply took out my cell phone, went to my website, moorsilverletter.net, moorishtivil.net, and went to the photo gallery where I have all the pictures from Unexpected Visits in Ancient America by Alexander von Budenow. And I showed them the pictures. I didn't hear a pin dot drop. It went from, you're really not native. You don't look native. What are you talking about, Mr. Bey? You're not native. You don't look native. You're crazy, Mr. Bey. Right? So they saw these stone heads and statuettes and figurines and masks with big lips and broad noses. Said, look at these stone heads, and they got quiet. And questions was raised. Mr. Bey, why don't they teach this in school? Mr. Bey, oh, I didn't know this before. Pictures explain 1,000 words.
It sure does.
This information is not known to our people. What's been indoctrinated to our people is this transatlantic slave trade story. Back and forth, the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the French, the English, and the Dutch, transporting millions of our people, from the continent of Africa to the Americans. So that's been planted. And even when I talk about Moors and Masonry to some of our people, you'll get comments like the questions are posed to me. How do you know that's true? Well, here's the information right here. There's documentation, national archives, historical records, historical archives in France, the Netherlands, England, Germany. We had what I show in my book, Moors and Masonry, documentary evidence of the Moorish sea power, naval power, commerce, trade, military power during 15, 16, 1700s. In order for the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, and the Spaniards to transport millions of us from the continent of Africa to the Americas, they would have to have control of the seas. They would have to have sea power, naval power, absolute sea power, absolute naval power, absolute military power of the sea. They were in constant war with the Turks and the Moors over the period of centuries, even before the 1500s. I focus on the 1800s because that's the time period of the so-called transatlantic slave trade period. During which that time period, 1800s, there were constant wars. In the colony, there is William Dent Ripple, who wrote a book review on Linda Collins' book, Captive, main title, Britain, Empire, and the World, 1600s to 1850. And Linda Collins' book, she chronicles the Moorish power during the 1600s. That Morocco captured 20,000 British in 1660. So the Europeans, this information is not presented because the Europeans who control Moorish land do not want our people to know our military naval power during the time of the 15, 16, 1700s. Why not? So they can get off that transatlantic slave trade story. There's a book called, it's also unknown, Discovery America, an outgrowth of the conquest of the Moors. Discovery America, an outgrowth of the conquest of the Moors. How do you make that connection? How do we know we're Moors, Abdullah? How do you know we're Moors? You know how I know we're Moors? same nations who have been purported to transport many of us from the continent of Africa to the Americas, as England, France, Spain, Portugal, and the Netherlands, all had wars with Morocco, had treaties with Morocco, we captured their citizenry and held them for high ransom. Even going back to the 1200s with Spain and Portugal, and you had control of Al-Andalusia. You have the Mercedarian order, which was established in 1093 in Spain, and the order of the Trinitarian order was established in France in 1193. And these orders were called redemption orders. Europeans have established orders to raise finance to get Europeans out of Moorish captivity. They were poor European women who had lost their husbands and their older sons to captivity after the ship as Moors seized their ships and held the Europeans in Moorish captivity. There were Europeans there were orders that were established, Trinitarian and the Mercedarian orders were established in the 1093, 1093, and 1193 respectively, raising money, thousands of dollars, all right, tens of thousands over a period of years, paying for ransom.
So you're telling me that Moors had the Europeans captive?
Yes, Moors had Europeans in captivity. Absolutely.
Yes.
And tens of hundreds of thousands. Overseas European ships. Europeans were paying Moorish tribute. There are tribute treaties called the Consolidated Treaty Series. Treaties between Morocco and France, Morocco and the Netherlands, Morocco and England, between 1600 and 1800. And those treaties, Morocco negotiated with France, Netherlands, and England tribute payments that would be paid to Morocco on an annual basis, so that those tribute payments allow the European powers to travel the high seas unmolested. And then, as long as they pay the annual tribute, they will be able to travel the high seas without having their ships being seized by us. This is your whole different view, my brothers and sisters, of the transatlantic slave trade story.
Yes.
Because the view that we have in our mind is that the Spaniards, the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, and English were traveling back and forth for a period of 300 years, getting hundreds, 10,000 here, 20,000 here, 50,000, back and forth. You don't hear any mention. There's no mention of their ships being seized by Moors. There's no mention of any tribute treaties. There's no mention of series of wars. No mention. Why not?
Yes.
Why not? Come on, ask me, Thomas. Why not?
Why not? I got you. Why not?
Because they want to paint in your mind weakness. If you knew your power, your naval sea power, you begin to question that transatlantic slave trade story. The fact that the European powers don't even want you to question it. Because once you begin to question it, that's what more than Masonry allows you to do. More than Masonry gives you a solid base to which to question the transatlantic slave trade story. A solid base. This is why I loaded up with references upon references upon references. I wanted to beat people over their heads with references.
I got you, bro. I'm feeling that, bro. I got a question for you.
Yes.
What inspired you to write the book Moors and Masonry?
All right. Great question. What inspired me to write the book Moors and Masonry? Dr. Bey, who had taught me history and law. He gave me a George Washington letter. The George Washington letter, who's president at the time, to Muhammad ibn Abdullah in Morocco. And that letter dated December 1st, 1789. And in the letter, George Washington writes, he apologizes for not keeping up with regular correspondence to the emperor. And also thanks His Imperial Majesty, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, for acknowledging the Treaty of Peace and Friendship dated December, which was negotiated and signed by Muhammad ibn Abdullah in June of 1786. Mm-hmm. So 2.5 years after the treaty was signed and ratified in January 1787, George Washington writes the letter to Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Mm-hmm. And then also he mentions in the letter, he thanks His Imperial Majesty for helping for that. He referencing in the letter that there were Moorish regencies that was against this Treaty of Peace and Friendship. So His Imperial Majesty acknowledged the United States in 1777. Morocco was the first country to recognize the United States in 1777. You don't read anything about this in history. What you read in the history book is 1778 that the United States entered into a treaty with France in 1778. That France had to form an alliance with the United States to protect the United States against the British invasion or the British seizing of European ships. Mm-hmm. However, what protected the English colony ships from Moorish seizing is the treaty between England and Morocco. Mm-hmm. And those treaties been the protection. So those treaties play a very important role in history. It's all United States history now.
I got you.
So there's no mention of these treaties. There's no mention of Morocco, His Imperial Majesty's involvement in the United States. Samuel Huntington wrote His Imperial Majesty in 1780, requesting to engage in a treaty of peace and amity. This was 1780 now. Mm-hmm. The treaty was negotiated in 1786, which he signed in 1786 and ratified in 1787. There's no mention of this. Mm-hmm. When I read that George Washington letter to over 5,000 students in Kansas City Public School for a period of 10 years. And some of the questions that were raised while reading the letter was, Mr. Bey, why is this taught in the schools? I also talk about listing the names of the presidents of the Continental Congress, but they knew nothing. Mifflin, Bootnott, Griffin, they had no clue who these people were.
How did they accept it?
They were surprised. Some were pleased. Some didn't believe it. Mm-hmm. All right, so you had mixed. Like I said, some were surprised, some were accepted, some didn't believe it. Some raised questions of why it taught in schools. Like I said, it was. But the good thing is, they raised questions. Mm-hmm. It got them to think about it. Think about information that they had never heard of before. Mm-hmm. And this is what literature does. It allows people, what it does, it gives a groundwork for debate, open debate and dialogue. That's what I want to do. You don't know what you're talking about. All right, well, you're saying that based on what? Mm-hmm. They really don't have a basis to which they don't know that this information didn't even exist. Mm-hmm. On the back cover, let me read the back cover. On the back cover, I have a picture of our chief Diwali hero drew this picture for me in the summer of 4 Europeans bound in a chain. 4 Europeans have chained around their neck. All right? Mm-hmm. race around their neck. It's all chained, and one more on the left holding keys and a scimitar, and then wearing the turban. The more on the right holding up a more scimitar, wearing the fez.
Mm-hmm.
And so above it, I have written a quote by Professor Robert David of Italian Renaissance History, Ohio State University. Quote, the enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. Let me read that again.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, the enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship on the early modern era. End quote. That's Robert David, professor of Italian Renaissance History, Ohio State University.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
Now, his course is elective, but I'm showing you that this information is available, it's documented, is not part of public TV, public documentaries, textbooks that are used in schools, that's on a college level. Remember, his course is elective.
Yes.
So his course is not part of the textbook that's called United States History.
Mm-hmm.
Not part of mainstream distorted history. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go through some of the books that I have listed in the bibliography.
Okay.
To give people a feel for the extensiveness of this research.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of people, like you said earlier, they'll be confused. Some will accept it, and some may just flat get angry.
Yes. Yes. In fact, let me respond to that. Brother Ali, he hosts a class in Maryland, and he's been telling his friends this for the past 2 years about we had Europeans in slavery, and they get angry.
Mm-hmm.
They get angry. They tell them that's not so, and they don't present any evidence. They tell them that's not so. We wouldn't do anything like that. Black people didn't have white people in slavery. What you talk about? What you talk about? That's not so. They get angry and they come like that. And you're gonna have that, and you know what? And that's fine. That's fine because you're not gonna have growth without that. You need open dialogue, open debate, whether it's positive. You know what? I don't view what they call negative criticism as negative criticism.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're commenting is key because what it does, it raises consciousness. It allows me to have an opportunity to what? Come back and present information on their question or their criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And their question, it's coming from emotion. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming out. Thank you. Yeah, so it allows the people to give the opportunity to respond to their comments and criticism.
Okay.
Which is healthy. And
okay.
I'm open. I'm for open dialogue and debate.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, people are going to get angry. People are going to get angry. They're going to be in a state of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So
I got a question.
I'm with that.
I got a question. This is a powerful conversation. In your book, Moors and Masonry, will you reference the Consolidated treaty series?
Yeah, I have about 6 treaties between Morocco and England.
Mm-hmm.
I have the 6 treaty between Morocco and England in their entirety. In the book.
Okay, good.
There are treaties between Morocco and the Netherlands. There's Dutch. Treaties between Morocco and France, and they're in French. I don't have those in the book. I do actually have those treaties, but they're not in the book.
Okay. What about the George Washington letter? Would you reference that in the book?
Not in part 1. That's in part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more than Masonry part 2. Well, I'm looking to get that out by the end of the year.
Okay.
That was part 2. All right. Part 1 focuses on the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and the European powers between the 1800s. part 2 focuses on the history of the consular relations, recognition, and diplomatic relations between Morocco and the United States from 1770 to 1815. Right? That's what the part 2 focuses on. That's more the recognition, consular relations, and diplomatic relations between Morocco and the United States.
Okay. Okay.
There's a connection. I didn't want to put all that in one book. So I just broke it up based on relationship and time period. So I actually show the relationship between the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and the European powers in 1500, and the diplomatic relationship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States. I show the connection. So I lead into that. When I start with in part 2, I start with the diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and England. All of the treaties between Moroccan Empire and England under Muhammad ibn Abdullah, and I lead into the book that way.
Okay.
To actually show that there's a relationship, there's a relationship between book 1 and book 2.
Yes, I got you. That's excellent information.
As I said before, that the tribute treaty between Morocco and England protected the English colonial ships from Moorish seizure. And that's what I show. I show that connection in part 2.
Okay, I got a question because. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just thought about something. I heard you say piracy earlier, and I thought about the movies with the quote unquote pirates. Does the pirates have any connection to the Moors?
All right, good question. Now, what people think when they talk about the pirates is that they think that these pirates are individual vigilantes, an independent body of vigilantes that's not connected to a government. That's not so. How I'm saying that's not so? Because of the treaties. The treaties were between government and government. The treaties, England was paying tribute to Morocco. They weren't paying tribute to pirates. Because the pirate story is misleading. It's misleading in a way that the Europeans do not want us to know that we have government structure. What the tribute treaties do is that there is government structure. The treaties, they were paying tribute to government, not to pirates.
So the whole pirate thing in regards to the movies is.
But the private thing is still connected to government, though. That's what I'm making connected to government.
I got you. So it wasn't an individual vigilante sort of thing.
No. They were paying tribute to government, no.
Okay.
And that's what the tribute treaty show.
Okay. That's nice. Very nice.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this, brother. Why did you name or title the book Moors and Masonry? What is the connection between Masons and Moors?
All right. There's a history with that title. The title had three previous titles before Moors and Masonry. Moors and Masonry is Taj's title. Taj Bey. We had a paper called, Taj and I had put out a paper in 2001 called Our Moroccan Star. And the third issue was a feature issue. When we go on the first cover of the paper, was titled Moors and Masonry. That's Taj's title. That was our most popular issue. This is 2001 now, 2002. Our most popular issue was Moors and Masonry. So, after going through 3 titles, I was in Black and Nova's bookstore in 2010, spring of 2010. There was a couple in there, and Hakeem, the owner of Black and Nobel bookstore in Philadelphia, he said, Pennsylvania, he said, Abdullah, tell me the title of your book. It's a long title, The Diplomatic Relations Between the Moroccan Empire and the United States. diplomatic relations between the Moroccan Empire and the United States, connecting the Moors and Europeans, historically, constitutionally, and Masonically. And I can't say Abdul, that title's too long. Abdul, that title's too long. That's not marketable. You have to have a shorter title. So I'm thinking for 5 minutes of thinking, I'm telling him, oh man, I call Taj. And I ask Taj, can I use the title motivation? Right? Why did that? The question would be, why did I decide to call Taj and use and ask him for permission to use the title motivation? Why did I think the title motivation was appropriate for my book? That would be the proper question. Right? Yeah. All right. Let me answer that question. The reason I thought that Wars and Masonry would be appropriate for my book is one, that is short, and to the point, that it makes the connection with Moors and Masonry. So now your question to me is, what is the connection to Moors and Masonry? Masonry is, all right, in the Shriners, the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the shrine, uses the structure of the Moorish government, the imperial divan. Divan, D is spelled D-I-V-A-N, and that is the council of the Moorish government. The United States occupying power, who's occupying the Moorish land and exercising Moorish sovereignty and controlling and functioning the Moorish government in a trusteeship capacity, actually functions the Moorish divan. Now, divan is actually the presidential cabinet. So instead of the European occupiers using the presidential cabinet, the pure divan, they use the term presidential cabinet as a substitute. So what the Shriners have done was preserve and adopted and preserved the structure of the Moorish government and using the term imperial divan. Our brothers, Moorish guys spotted black, nickel colored, African American, United States Census Bureau, do not know this connection. Do not know the Moorish origin of the term imperial divan. They think that the term imperial divan originated with the shrine. Does not. I show in treaties, 1664, 1662, 1776, 1716, treaty 1770, between England and Morocco, where the word divan is in the treaty. So I'm not making, I can support what I'm saying, brother. Divan. I can show D-I-V-A-N.
Yes.
We use that in the shrine. And imperial divan is used by the Shriners. But our brothers and sisters, and y'all know Masonic brothers, I love y'all. Our Masons, our Shriners, all these Shriners will be aware of this. I've spoken to Masons who are not Shriners. They're not aware of divan because they're not Masons, they're not Shriners. Only Shriners will be familiar with the term imperial divan. Because that's what they use in the structure of their organization. But it's an adoption from the Moorish structure.
So are the Shriners mimicking Moorish government?
Yes. In fact, the highest title of the officer is imperial potentate. Imperial potentate, the term imperial potentate actually belongs to us. The term imperial potentate is a title that is representative of the Emperor Morocco.
Yes.
I think you have the term royal monarch that is used by the mystic order of the male prophets of the enchanted realm. The term the royal monarch belongs to us as the ordinary Moorish government. Is equivalent to Emperor Morocco. You have the sovereign grand commander that is used by the Scottish Rite Orders, 33rd degree, 32nd degree. They use the term sovereign grand commander. That is equivalent for the representative of the title is a pure master from Morocco. So they're preserving our culture. They're preserving the titles of our government.
I see, brother. This reminds me of a conversation you and I had about 2, maybe 3 years ago. And I remember you speaking about the Shriners Parade and the Corvette.
Oh, and, yes. Let me explain that.
Yeah.
Corvette means little ship.
Little ship.
And the Shriners Parade actually is a celebration of the defeat of the Moors. They actually lay out history and drop in the parade. Once you know the history, so what I did in the book is put the parade in historical context. I explained Corvette in the etymology, and I put the little ship in its historical context, showing the documentary evidence that we see European ships. The treaties mention that. The Tripoli treaties mention that that's part of the negotiation of getting the ships back. Also referencing books, referencing Europeans, seizing European ships. The clowns are used as a symbol of diplomacy between the European powers and Morocco. The clowns were not just a bunch of funny men. There's a book called it's in my book, Moreno Bey, the treaties also. Clowns are everywhere. The treaties also chronicles the use of clowns in diplomacy throughout the world. Clowns were used to clowns gave advice to visit kings and ambassadors. Clowns were consulted for advice. Clowns were for marriages, not just to, provide pleasure before war, but they were actually taken seriously and were used as advisors.
Yes.
When I began to learn, I said, oh, it's just a symbol. That's why clowns are used. I had no idea why clowns were used in the parade. I didn't know clowns were used in the parade until I went to the parade in 2013.
I remember you explaining that to me, man. I was telling the brother the other day about the clown. That's funny you brought that up because I was telling the brother the other day about that same exact book about the clowns. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
In fact, when I was at the parade, you streaming it, a 5-year-old girl, he's now 8 years old now, almost 9. She said to a mother, watching hundreds of Europeans, going down the street, when I'm passing her, when I said, she said, look, mommy, they're wearing the Shriners hat. That little old girl has been socialized to associate your fez, the Moorish fez, with European and with the Shriners.
Yes.
So instead of saying, look, mommy, they're wearing the Moorish fez.
What would you tell people? What would you tell people about Masons? Why is it that they wear our Moorish headdress?
The Masons wear our Moorish headdress. Shriners, mystics, mystical little bell prophets, the chanting realm, or prophets. Those who belong to Scottish borders, Scottish borders, that they all don't wear feathers. So I make it very clear. All Masons do not wear feathers. They'll even tell you. All Shriners wear feathers. They'll all tell you. They're not a Shriner. They'll say, well, Shriners wear feathers. So all Masons don't wear feathers. So the question, why do Masons wear feathers? That be Shriners or mystics or scholars, those belong to the Scottish borders, is that they defeated us. So, like, for instance, I defeat you in a fight. So I take the watch. I take the watch as a symbol of conquer, but that's a faulty analogy. So that's a faulty analogy.
But I see where you're going with it.
All right, but you see where I'm going with it. The fez is representing the national headdress. And then royal represents sovereign authority. So they took a crown of sovereign authority and placed it on their head. They've conquered us. They have annual parades showing that lays out the history. All right, so it's a celebration of their defeat of the mighty, powerful Moroccan Empire. They brought the mighty, powerful Moroccan Empire to her knees, and now we bow bow to them. We subjugate to them. We submit to them, the powerful Moroccan Empire, who controlled India, who controlled all of Europe, who controlled the seas as borders to their needs. And now I'm talking about the black, Negro, colored, Latino, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Indian, West Indian, and are prisoners of war in their own land. Why I say prisoners of war? I didn't just throw that term out because we are prisoners of war. We have wars with them. Our defeat came by what? Losing wars with them over a period of centuries. And how do we lose? One of the questions is, how did this mighty, powerful Moroccan Empire fall to the knees, fall to the hands of the Europeans? Infighting. A dynasty represents a family. Let's say you're my brother, and you're our father. You know, he's Caliph, but you're the older brother. So our father passes on, and that title goes to you. 10 years after you reign, all right, you're doing good for the people, you're powerful, and you're leading the nation into prosperity, and I'm jealous. So I kill you. So this really happens. This is not something that, yes. So you have what's called fratricide. Fracture, brother, fraternity, brother, side, kill. All right? So it's just issue of fratricide.
Could you spell that? Could you spell that?
Yeah. Fratricide.
Okay.
An issue of a jealous brother, me, killing the older brother who has the title. All right? In order for me to get the title, you have to die. Either do battle or I have to kill you. Die by illness, die in battle, or I kill you.
I got you. That's powerful.
So that happens. This is real talk. But you also had issues where a successor was not as strong as confident as his predecessor. All right, so those things happen. So you look at a period of centuries, and we, not becoming, losing control of our Andalusia in 1492. As I said before, there's a book called The Conquest of the Moors, The Discovery of America, and Outflow for the Conquest of the Moors. We're on these wars.
Yes.
We're on these wars because, as I said before, what I do is I show a relationship between the battles of the European powers who colonized the Americas, who had purported to transport Africans from the continent of Africa to the Americas. They were the same ones who were at war with Morocco. Who else can we be?
I got you.
Who else can we be? I mean, come on, man. Who else can we be?
Yes, I agree.
Look at it like, who else could we be?
I agree with that, bro. Now, earlier...
They had wars for Iraq. We talking about series of wars for centuries. Not talking about 10 years. We're talking about series of centuries. You know, a century is 100 years.
Yes.
I'm saying centuries.
Yes, hundreds. Yes, I got you. I got you. Earlier, you stated linguistically you could tie in Morocco and America.
Yes.
Why is that important? Could you explain that to the people?
Why is it what?
Why is that important? The linguistic form of tying Morocco to the word America, because some people are confused.
Yeah. I didn't think that the linguistic connection would be strong enough as a point of evidence to actually convince people. So I present documentary evidence of our military sea power during that time period of 1800. The linguistic connection is that the name American, our people our children today are indoctrinated, as we were when we went to school, that the name America comes from the Italian name Americo Vespucci, all right?
Yes.
There's a book, Barry Spell, Professor Emeritus of Harvard University, he wrote American BC, a book called America BC, and he states that the name America has a much ancient origin tied to the Libyan word Maru, means land across the sea.
Mm-hmm.
So the name America is migrated in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
Now the linguistic connection is that when you add a letter or sound to a word, that's called prosthesis. Prothesis. Prosthesis. These are linguistic methodologies. There was sound shift and sound change. Adding a letter at the beginning of a word, removing a letter at the beginning of a word.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, we're adding a letter A to the word Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
So we're changing the sound. Another linguistic methodology is removing what's called vowel changes or vowel shifts.
Mm-hmm.
So you're adding vowels or removing vowels. Or you're adding vowels, removing vowels, or changing vowels.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the E-O to the E. Morocco, M-O-R-O-O-C-O, America, A-M-E-R-I-C-A. So you have the E there in America, A-M-E-R, and you have the I-C-A. So the E and I both were changed, the O in Morocco were changed to the E and the I.
Mm-hmm.
That's called vowel shifts.
Mm-hmm.
You just change, it's just different pronunciation, that's all.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, I said Morocco, I said American. All right, I'm fine. I said American.
Same thing.
Different pronunciation. Yeah, different pronunciation.
Same thing. I got you, bro. Got you. So would that be what you call umlaut?
That's called umlaut.
Yes.
U-M-L-A-U-T, German word. Umlaut deals with sound shifts.
Yes.
All right, so we're shifting the vowel, changing the vowel sound.
Mm-hmm. Much needed, bro. Could you give the people like some of your information to get your book and your website information?
Yeah, my website. Kill my food here. It's moorcivilletter.net. That's MOORCIVILETTER.net.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again. MOORCIVILETTER.net. I don't have the PayPal button up there for the book yet. Hold on. For the book yet?
Mm-hmm.
To get the book, they have to go to the video page of my website. At the bottom of the video page is a donate button. The book is $50 and $7 for mailing.
Okay.
Go to the video page, and at the bottom of the video page is the donate button. $50 for mailing for the book, and $7 for mailing. Total $57.
Okay. About how many pages is it?
It's 256 pages, 50 color pages, and 206 black and white pages.
Okay. That's gonna be nice. I know it's gonna be nice, man. And today it's been wonderful, man. Like I said earlier, you're one of my personal teachers, and I want to thank you personally for introducing etymology to me, because I knew nothing of etymology prior to meeting you. So from me to you, I appreciate it, and I love you, brother, with all my heart.
Thank you for this opportunity, man, for me to share with the people, man.
No doubt, bro. No doubt, because they need it, and I'm gonna make sure we get that book popping. And I will be purchasing my copy today. So yeah, I can't wait, man. I really appreciate your information. I know you got some things to take care of today. You got your book signing today, right?
Yeah, the book signing today, 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You in the Ohio territory?
Yeah, I'm at Ohio.
Okay, at Ohio. Okay, I got you. Okay, well, bro, I want you to have a good time. I really appreciate that. We're going to save the rest for the book. So if y'all want the rest of the information, y'all got to get the book. Visit his website, moorishcivilletter.net. Could you spell that again, brother?
Yeah. Yes, that's moorishcivilletter.net is moorishcivilletter.net.
No doubt, bro.
All right.
Well, I appreciate this conversation today, bro. You be good. Be safe out there, man, and keep pumping this information, man. We with you. 100,000%, brother.
Thank you.
No doubt. Peace and love.
Peace and love, bro.
Peace and love.